Man. Guys, I want you all to take a good, hard look at that date. So why am I showing you all the date of August 19th, 2011? That is because 10 years ago today, I started this YouTube channel. 10 years. 10 years. Man, I cannot believe it has been that long. Just to give you all some perspective on that, 10 years ago, I was a senior in high school, and I was 18 years old. Now, I'm 28, and I was in college, but not anymore. But yeah, 10 years. It blows my mind. It's just unfathomable that time has gone that fast. Now, many of you may think that 10 years is a lot of time. It is, but 10 years goes by like that. I remember this day when I was at a senior retreat, and someone had asked me, so we're going to call your new YouTube channel. And I said, just Austin P. Putnam. I remember that day very vividly. I legitimately can visualize the building I was in, how I looked, how my friend looked at the time. I can visualize his girlfriend at the time. I remember everything. I really do. It's just absolutely insane. So before I continue on, I want to say to you all, thank you so much. And yes, by the way, before I continue on, once again, I think I already said that just a couple seconds ago. But yes, I do wear glasses. This is my day-to-day thing that I need to wear. I mean, it's not that if I take this off, I can't see, because I can see my webcam just fine, which I'm shooting with. I can see my ring light, my computer, pretty much everything in my room I can see, minus, I guess, smaller things. But otherwise, if I'm driving, yeah, I need these things on. Otherwise, not going to be a good ride. I want to say thank you all so much for 10 years of watching my videos. It's unfathomable, if that's the right term for it, that I've been doing this for 10 years. And by the way, for those of you wondering, am I going to stop? No, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, because genuinely, I love doing this. I love making YouTube videos because, as you all know, when I started my first channel up, Demon Killer XSV2, which, yes, no kidding, that was my first YouTube channel, which, by the way, is gone. Like, if you try and search up Demon Killer XSV2, you can try it. It's no longer there anymore. Like, you'll find videos with descriptions that have those things in it, but otherwise, if you look for that channel name, it is no longer there, which I may tell you guys a story later on, but not for this. I wanted this part of the video to be as uncut and as raw as possible, because I just figured that after 10 years, you'd want to see me with all the jump cuts, without the chaotic energy, which, by the way, that's just me in general. For those of you who are wondering, the guy that you see in the videos is me. It's me. It's just a bunch of cuts, because a lot of the time, I mess up. Like, filming videos can take a long time for me, because I do have a lot of anxiety when I film videos, and you would not think that that would not take a long time, but trust me, it does. I was actually not really filming, but I was editing a video that's going to be coming out in October. Yes, you'll find out why later. I wanted to say thank you all so much for watching me for 10 years. I know buddies of mine who've been watching my stuff from the very beginning, and to those of you who've been watching my stuff from the very beginning, you guys are the fucking best. Seriously. Because those of you who have known me for a long time will know that starting this channel, in a lot of ways, well, really, it changed my life. It opened the door to many opportunities. I met so many great people. My two good friends who become my best friends. Some of my best friends, I should say. Mr. Garrison New, Kirk, my little Gare Bear, my buddy Jerome Ladmer, and tons of my YouTube friends, John Maffio, Mothman Jones, my co-host of the former Next Film War, has become one of my best friends, my good buddy Zach Pope, Real James, Tessa at Mama's Geeky, Ren Geekness, Jay Vaders, Many of you out there that I have met, I love you all to death. I seriously do. I have met so many cool people, and I was also able to join a really cool organization named Flick Direct. It's just safe to say that starting this YouTube channel not only opened the door to many possibilities, but not just opened one door, but it opened many doors, but it changed my life for the better. I know I should be saying a whole lot more, but I just want to ramble on for way too long. But now it is time for one of the reasons why I made this video. And that is, well, if y'all remember, about 2-3 weeks ago, I made a video saying I'd be doing a Q&A, and it'd be a very special Q&A. And before I continue with this Q&A, I want to say thank you all so much for sending in your questions. I did say 5 questions per person, and I just want to say right now, full clarification, just because you send in all 5 of your questions does not mean I'm going to get to all of your questions, because I basically had 3 ways of picking questions, because I didn't want to choose the very cliche things, what's your favorite movie, because I've answered that question so many times. But I wanted to choose one of 3 questions. 1, the question that was asked multiple times by many different people. 2, a question that has been asked beforehand. Or 3, something that just really stuck out and was very unique, and it's made me go like, you know what? That's a good question. Let me answer that. So, with that being said, I figured, you know what? Let's take these guys off, go to my YouTube look, even though it doesn't really make a difference. That being said, guys, just want to let you all know, once again, thank you all so much for sending in your questions. I really appreciate it. I chose 50 questions, and there were multiple questions, guys. So once again, thank you for sending in your questions. With that being said, let's kick this thing off into the supercharged Q&A. So, in the words of a wise man, here we go. What's your go-to drink? I could give multiple answers to this. I mean, you gotta love water, but in terms of my overall favorite drink, root beer. I love me some mug root beer or A&W root beer. I don't mind Barks, but in reality, root beer. Root beer is a gift from the gods. Favorite holiday? That would be Halloween, which, by the way, I guess I should bring this up because Halloween's my favorite holiday. Halloween Horror Reviews 2021 is coming, and I cannot wait for y'all to see what I have in store for you guys. I've actually already filmed 2 videos. I can't wait to see, because I'm really, really happy with the progress that this thing is making. So yes, since I mentioned it, Halloween Horror Reviews is coming back. It's going to be bigger than ever. Which director do you think deserves more recognition? First of which is being Gareth Evans. If you don't know who Gareth Evans is, he's the director of The Raid, The Raid 2, Apostle. I legitimately think that besides Christopher McQuarrie, that Gareth Evans is the best action director when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. I mean, if you all haven't seen The Raid, please do so. Next one up is Mike Flanagan, who I think is the master of horror. The fact that his name has not gotten way more attention out there is beyond me. If there's one director that I really think that deserves so much more recognition, it's Martin McDonagh. That man is a treasure. And many people have asked me how I describe Martin McDonagh. I describe him as the Irish Tarantino, but better than Tarantino, which I know might be blasphemous to many film fans out there, but trust me when I say this. Martin McDonagh is the Tarantino, but he's better than Tarantino. I mean, he's only made 3 films, but each one he's made is only better than the last one. He's making a new one. Can't fucking wait for his next one. So yeah, I would say those 3 directors deserve way more recognition. Are you in a relationship? No. I've dated. I've been on plenty of dates, but no. Not a relationship, and I have never been in one. Yeah, I'm 28 years old and never been in one. It just hasn't happened yet. Simple as that. Ladies, I'm single. That was fucking stupid. Moving on. Are you religious? I feel like I need to really tread the line on this one because my dad is religious. And I didn't really grow up in a religious household, but I did grow up as a Christian. I would describe myself as a casual Christian, but a very casual Christian. In order to summarize my relationship with religion in one sentence, there is a quote from Devil May Cry 4 I would use. And you know what? I'll play the clip for you. Play it right now.
I'm out of here.
But it's not over yet.
All this preaching's putting me to sleep.
What was the first press screening you attended? For this question, there's two answers, because here's the thing. For those of you who have never been to a screening before, there's two different types of screenings. There is a general audience screening where they have audience and press, and then there's press only. So for my first public screening where there was audiences, that was Moneyball back in 2011. I remember I saw that 2 weeks early, and I actually remember going into school that day, and I said I saw Moneyball, and someone said, wait, that comes out in 2 weeks. How'd you see that? And I said, a screening. And they said, what are you special? And I said, no, I just got a screening pass to it. But my first press-only screening was for Snowden back in 2016. I remember, so I'm going to try and tell the story very quickly, but my boss was like, okay, you want to see Snowden? Go to this theater in Miami, drive down there, and you're all good. So I took a buddy of mine from film school. We hauled ass down there because we thought that it was general audience and press, because my boss had told me at the time being that if you didn't get to the screening in time, like if you were very late, they would let general audience into the press seats. So we hauled ass down there, and we got to the movie theater in time. And I think it was my first time at the theater, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was actually my first time at that movie theater. I told the wrangler saying, hey, it's this person, reflector, right? They said I'd go right ahead. We got to the movie theater. There was nobody there. And my buddy and I sat down. We were just like, are we in the right movie theater? So we actually got out of our seats, and we just went around to the wrangler and said, hey, so quick question. It's just press only? And they said, yeah, it's press only. And I said, oh, that's why. And yeah, man, I gotta tell you all, press only screenings are heaven. I've been to plenty of those. I think the last press only screening I went to, it was Fantasy Island, a movie that if y'all saw my top 5 or just my top 10 worst videos of 2020 video, that was in my top 5. I really hated that movie. Michael opinion was great, but press only for that one, just no thank you. Why do you hate peanut butter? How is this possible? Are you human? It is one of the greatest inventions in history alongside cinnamon buns. I agree with you that cinnamon buns are one of the greatest inventions, but when it comes to peanut butter, I just never got into it. I've tried it multiple times, but just peanut butter, I never got into it. And this is going to sound really weird. Food has to have a certain texture for me in order to enjoy it. Like, for example, carrots for me. This is going to sound fucking weird, but it's true. My dad has to make carrots in a certain way in order for me to enjoy them. I don't mind peanut sauce. I don't mind that, but peanut butter itself, I just never got into it, to which I know is going to cause ma'am out there, sorry buddy. What video game consoles do you have? Okay, so in terms of the ones that I do have, the ones that I have a PS2, I have a Nintendo 64, I have an Xbox 360, I used to have a GameCube, it broke. I do technically have a Nintendo Wii, it's my brother's room. I also have a PS3, which is right here. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid on it. I need to get back onto it. I have a PS4 Pro, which I gave to my brother. I also have, oh my god, I have a gaming PC, which I'm actually recording this thing on. I have a PS5, I have an Xbox Series X, a Nintendo Switch. My first gaming console was the Philips CDI. If you don't know what that console is, look up AVGN Philips CDI, and you will see what a piece of shit that system was. Introverted or extroverted? That depends on the situation I'm at. For example, if I'm around people that I know, and if I'm in a situation, or not really a situation, but if I'm in an environment that I'm comfortable with, I'm very extroverted. However, if I'm around people that I don't know very well, and if I'm in a situation that I'm not really in my element, oh my god, I am so introverted, it's not even funny. It depends on the situation, really. Do you play instruments? I tried playing instruments when I was a kid. I had this small guitar, I can't remember what it's called. I wanted to play drums at some point, but I would suck at that. My friend, my childhood best friend, tried to teach me Smoke on the Water on his electric guitar, to which I did learn a little bit of it. It would be cool to learn an instrument, though. It would be really cool. Have you considered moving to the West Coast? Hell yeah, I have. I would love nothing more than to live in California, because I know that a lot of people treat California as a dump. California, to me, is a dream world. Both times I went, they were some of the best times of my life. I would love to move to California, but nowadays, when I think about it, while I would love to live there, Georgia, which is where I grew up and lived in, where I was born, I should say. If I could, I'd go back to Georgia, but if I could right now, I would so love to live in Los Angeles, without a doubt. Do you still love The Last Jedi? Yes, I do. Besides people telling me that I should not like it, and yes, it is still in my top 3 Star Wars films. Still love it. Have you met Chris Stuckman? If so, was he nice? I haven't met him in person, but I have talked to him a couple of times in the past, and he seems like a genuinely good dude. I still watch him to this day, and by the way, Chris, I want to say congrats to you on getting your first film. I am very excited to watch Shirley Oaks. I cannot wait to see what you do with it, and even if it's not the greatest movie out there, I'm just happy that you're finally to get to do what you've been wanting to do for quite so long, for quite some time. Favorite horror movie villain? That would be Freddy Krueger. I used to love only Jason Voorhees for quite some time, but really, I want a villain that has a great screen presence and that's just a lot of fun to watch. And don't get me wrong, while I love me some Michael Myers, I love Candyman, I love Jason Voorhees, I have really loved Freddy Krueger so much more, which, by the way, for my Halloween horror reviews, I just might be reviewing one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Which one? Keep an eye out for that. Favorite video game console? I don't think I have a favorite, but I do have 3 favorites. Like 3 of the ones I have loved out of all of them that come to the top of my head. One is the Nintendo 64. That was one of the first I ever owned. I spent so many hours on that thing, particularly with Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is my second favorite game of all time. The PS2, and also I do think the Xbox 360 is one of the greatest. I mean, the amount of games that this system had in its lifetime was absolutely insane. I'm 50-50 on the vaccine. Have you taken it? Any side effects? I did take the vaccine. I got the Moderna one. And what I'll say about this thing right now, and for those of you who remember, I did have COVID last year. And for me, the first day I had it was terrible because I felt like absolute shit at first. But then literally afterwards, it was literally the most mild version of a cold possible. The weirdest thing I had was that I had this really weird temple pressure in my head, but otherwise was nothing that bad. I had the vaccine, I got both of my shots, and the worst thing I could say that happened was that I had a sore arm, had a little bit of a headache, I had a bit of nausea, and I had pain in my lower back. But yeah, I got Moderna. It's worked. What is one pet peeve you have? I have to give 3 of them. All right, let me give 3 of them. One pet peeve is when people don't use turning signals when they drive. My second pet peeve is when I open a door up for somebody and I don't get a thank you. I sometimes will say, "You're welcome." Manners, guys. Manners. People not using manners really drives me crazy. My third one, so I was taught this as a very little kid and has stuck with me ever since. So I was taught as a little kid that having your hat on indoors is bad manners. And seeing it as an adult just drives me crazy. No turning signals drives me crazy, no manners, and hats indoors. Don't know what it is about the hats indoors. It's a very specific one to my childhood, but just those 3 things because I cannot name a single one. How do you feel about basically every movie nowadays being a sequel or a remake? It really depends on the movie because sequels can be good if they're done right. Now, obviously, studios will sometimes make a sequel for a sequel's sake, but the Suicide Squad, most recently, it was a sequel, but not so much. It was a standalone thing. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I love that movie to death. But when you look at movies, like let's say Nightmare on Elm Street as a remake, that's a remake that I don't understand why it was made. All depends on the story, but from what I've seen for the most part, as long as the movie is good, go ahead and give me sequels. Have you ever played a game that is so difficult you just couldn't finish it? There's 2 that come off the top of my head. One of them is a game called Shadow Hearts in the PS2 era. I love that game so much. No one talks about it. And I got as far as the final boss, and I couldn't beat it. And by the way, that final boss is so fucking hard that even when I tried to use a Game Shark, yes, remember the Game Sharks back in those days? Even after I used a Game Shark wouldn't work. That's how hard it was. It was so bad to where I had to look up the final cutscene on YouTube. Great game, by the way. But as of recently, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That game is just so difficult. And I love From Software's games. I love Dark Souls. I love Bloodborne. I love Demon Souls. I need to beat Demon Souls. But Sekiro is just so punishingly difficult that I think I may be at the 4th boss of the game. And that's one of the few games where I almost broke a controller because it was just that difficult, and I never do that. This is one of the few games where many buddies of mine have complained about From Software's game design, especially the level design, where I thought, yeah, for the first time, I see where you're coming from on this one. Did you hear they're doing a Blade Runner series for Adult Swim? Dude, you have no idea how hyped I am for that. I love Blade Runner. 2049, as you all know, is one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, I am hyped as all hell for that series. What's your favorite movie soundtrack? This is kind of a different thing because there's scores and soundtracks. For soundtracks, there's two. There is Guardians of the Galaxy, to which I love every single song, and then there's Baby Driver. In terms of score, though, I'd say my favorite score of all time is the opening track in The Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. Would you ever come to New York? I actually have been to New York. I went to New York when I was either 6 or 7 years old. It was for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade that happened back in the day. My aunt got my family in this awesome hotel in Missouri. The window was overlooking the Macy's Day Parade, and I remember I had the greatest time. I have not been back ever since. I would love to go back to New York because I remember just nothing but magical memories about that. All right, before I continue, I need my G Fuel. Angry Joe Show. Love Angry Joe Show. God, it's the good stuff. Favorite thing about living in Florida? When it's sunshine here, it's actually quite beautiful here. I like the beaches of Florida, even though I'm not a beach guy. I love Universal. I love Disney. I love Halloween Horror Nights. Some of the people I've met here are really, really nice. Florida, more than anything else, it is a tourist place, or I guess it's a retirement place. For me, I want to get out of here. I want to either go back to Georgia or I want to go to California. Were your parents strict when it came to discipline? I was very lucky to grow up in the household I do, because I know that many kids out there don't have the greatest households, but truly, my parents did really well in terms of teaching me things growing up in terms of discipline. When I did things wrong, they did what parents should do. Was I disciplined? Yeah, I was disciplined. I would call it good parenting because it taught me manners. Like, if it wasn't for my parents teaching me things as a kid, I would probably be an asshole today. My mother, I love to death. I love my father to death. They taught me very great values as a kid. My mom and my dad, I know you're probably going to be watching this, but guys, I love you to death. My mommy dearest, I call her mommy dearest, and my daddy man and my super dad. I love you guys to death. You did an amazing job raising me, guys. I love you to death. Love you, love you, love you. What has been your favorite part about doing YouTube movie reviews? More than anything else, the people that I've met. Meeting people like Mothman Jones, Zach Pope, Tessa, Ren, Luke Nukem, Jay Vaders, the Schmoes, Jeremy Johns. I met Tom Chettelbash, who interviewed me, to which I couldn't believe at the time. My buddy Mr. Garrison, my buddy Jerome Latimer, doing videos with my friends. But otherwise, no, it's more than anything else. My favorite part about doing those reviews was meeting you guys. My thoughts on 2021 so far. 2021 started off as I was thinking it was going to be just a repeat of last year. But I can say that things have gotten slightly better, even with the Delta variant surging right now. But still, I can definitely say that things have gotten slightly better. Things did get better. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that. Things got better this year. What editing software do you use, and how do you make your thumbnails? As far as editing software goes, I use Final Cut Pro X. I've been using that since 2012, although I have used a multitude of editing softwares. I've used Windows Movie Maker. I've used iMovie. I've used Adobe Premiere Pro. I tried Avid at one point, but really the one I feel most comfortable in is Final Cut Pro X. Ever since I used that, it's been my go-to. And how do I make my thumbnails? It's right in Final Cut, and sometimes I will find a part in a review where the still shot of me looks exactly what I want to see in my thumbnail, or I will just shoot a specifically different video clip for a thumbnail wise, but everything I do is in Final Cut Pro X. I've been doing that ever since. It's expensive, but thankfully it is only a one-time purchase of $300. It's a lot of money, but once you buy it, you're set for life at that point. And they've done some great updates, I gotta say. How did you get to work for Flick Direct? If I remember correctly, that was over the span of, I want to say, 2 months, maybe 3 months. No, I want to say 2 to 3 months. So I remember 2016, I remember that I had reached out to my now boss, who is a friend of mine now. I said to him, hey, I don't know if you guys are looking for video reviews for your YouTube channel, but I'd love to help out, maybe give some variety to you guys. He got back to me saying, unfortunately, we're not looking for anyone because we cannot afford to pay. We're looking for interns, though, to send to Miami. And I thought, there's no way I can. And somebody who used to work for us, who we're still good friends with, came up to me. I said to him, yeah, I know what you're going to ask. And he said, all right, so do you have thoughts? I was like, I would love to, but I just can't afford to drive down Miami all the time. That would just suck on my gas. What I did at that point was that I made an audition video to Flick Direct, and I sent my boss that, and he said, that is a really good video, good critiques. And right afterwards, we started talking, and I had a whole pitch for him. We met up for dinner, and my pitch for him was that I wanted to bring a new show to which I do every Monday. Please check it out, guys. And we now do a podcast together called Flick That. Please watch that as well. After that dinner, my boss was like, all right, well, welcome aboard to Flick Direct. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Working at Flick Direct definitely has more of the time its ups. It has its downs. Sometimes my boss and I don't see eye to eye on a couple of things. But working with Flick Direct, I will say Flick Direct has opened the door for so many more possibilities. I'm going to Vegas because of Flick Direct. Legitimately, I am. How I got to work with them, it was showing that I could do it. It was a good pitch meeting for me at least. And then my boss was like, all right, well, welcome aboard. Luckily, my boss and I have become good friends. Actually, really good friends, actually. PlayStation or Xbox? That question all comes down to personal preference. PlayStation and Xbox do great things differently. For example, I think right now the better exclusives, I think the PS5 has it. But I think in terms of sometimes better graphics, Xbox Series X has it. But in terms of better backwards compatibility, the Series X kicks the PS5's ass all the way. Really, all it comes down to is personal preference. I love both systems, but if I were to choose the best system right now, PS5. Though I will say that the Xbox Series X is gonna catch up. I know it will. There's gonna be some good shit coming out for it. What are some of the worst movies you've ever seen, period? God, you really want to throw me into a frenzy, don't you? Okay, so there's a couple. First of all, The Last Airbender. You all know I really don't like the movie at all. Recently, I would definitely say Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I think that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's a movie that legitimately just thinking about and talking about it just angers me. Another one I would say, the one that scarred me for life, Pink Flamingos. I know if my dad's watching, he's gonna laugh his ass off at that one. Never again with that movie. Favorite gaming YouTuber? I feel like I say this all the time with all these questions. I do apologize, but for this one, there's a couple of YouTubers that come to mind. First of which, I love me some Jacksepticeye. I think he's a very fun and very cool gaming guy. Gaming YouTuber. By the way, if you haven't seen Free Guy, watch He's in it, and I thought he was great in it. Also, Game Rank, specifically Jake Baldino, which, by the way, if it wasn't for him, I would not be recording this right now. I mean, I have an editing computer, but I prefer my PC because my PC's stronger. I used to watch Markiplier, not as much these days. Also, there's two more that come to mind. There's one named Matt McMuscles. Watch his series called What Happened if you've wanted to see the development process of games like Duke Nukem Forever, Cyberpunk 2077, or even for film stuff. Watch What Happened. I'm telling you all, you will be mind blown some of the stuff that's gone behind the scenes. But out of all of them, my favorite gaming YouTuber besides Game Ranks, Jake Baldino, that is 8-Bit Ryan. 8-Bit Ryan is my favorite Let's Player right now. The guy is enormously entertaining. I love his stuff. Big shout out to him. And that reminds me, I need to get back to editing Little Nightmares videos because I have the next one recorded. I just have to edit. If you're wondering why those videos are as highly edited as they are, it's because of him. How did you meet Lucas, Romy, and Gary? I have known Lucas since 7th grade. He's been one of my best friends. We've remained in contact ever since. I love him to death. When it came to Romy and Gary, I met Jerome back in 2013 after the Top 5 Summer Films of 2013 video. He reached out to Alex at first because, if y'all remember, well, I'll play the clip right now.
What?
Yeah, surprising.
Surprisingly good or surprisingly bad?
Surprisingly good. Because...
Oh my god!
Surprisingly good because...
Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Alex, you're gonna be alone for this one.
Oh my
Right?
god, I cannot stay here for this.
I'm walking off the set for that one. I'm finished. I don't want to hear it because this is bad.
Oh my god!
Gary I met not too long afterwards, but we didn't all become really close until I would say probably 2014 or 2015, but we really became best friends around 2016. I love Gary and Jerome like brothers. I really do. What was it like doing the film awards? When it came to doing the Next Gen Film Awards, it was fun. I primarily did that out of my love for the Reviewers Movie Awards. I reached out to John, and if it wasn't for John saying yes, Mothman Jones, I would not have done it. But I gotta tell you all, really sincerely, this is me speaking honestly with you guys, it was really hard. The first year, I'm surprised we got it done in 2 months because ever since then, they only got harder and harder and harder. Year 5, we delayed it by 3 months. I loved doing that, but would I do it again for another year? Honestly, no. But I do say that to any of you out there who want to do your own version of Next Gen or your reviewers, go for it. Top 5 to 10 dream vacation destinations. Okay, so Greece, specifically Athens, Greece. Romania, because I would love to go to Castle Dracula. No kidding. I'd love to visit Denmark, mainly because my mother stayed in Denmark for many, many years. I mean, Japan. I would love to go to Japan. And also, oh my god, why am I blanking on this one? France. Basically anywhere in Europe I'd love to visit. I would just love to go to Europe, but my dream vacation is Greece and Athens. Will you do more collaborations with the crew? Yeah, of course I will. It's not that I'm not going to stop doing anymore, because I know that a lot of you are wondering if ever since the 2019 video there was going to be no more. No, I'm still going to be doing collaborations with Alex, Lucas, and Shane. Joe, full clarification, I have not talked to him in, man, it's been at least a year and a half. The thing is, it's scheduling and time. But will I still do collaborations with them? Absolutely. What do you do for work? I don't want to say too much on this one because I want to keep this part a bit more close to the chest. I'll say this much though. I work as a host in a restaurant. I won't say which restaurant, but I'm a host. What's your favorite anime from the past decade? Only one that I could think of, Attack on Titan. I haven't watched anything else ever since. I know I need to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've been told many great things about that one. I finished the first season. I got 2 episodes into the next season. I know there's 3 or 4 seasons out right now. I do want to watch Castlevania though, but Attack on Titan, that's the one I can tell you right now. I love Attack on Titan. That was badass. As someone who had struggled with mental health recently, what do you do to stay mentally strong? I will not lie to you all. During COVID, during quarantine, lockdown last year, I had to really think, okay, what the fuck am I going to do? Because really, for the most part, I was in my room playing video games. I can luckily say that I have been very fortunate enough that I haven't been in a depressive state. I mean, I've been in those funk states, if that's the right term for it. What do I do to stay mentally strong? Basically, what I do is this. I do things that I love, whether it's playing a game I love, watching a movie I love, or just doing something I love, like filming a video, or doing this, talking to you guys. I absolutely love doing. I talk to a family member. One thing I will say is this. I'm not a psychologist, and I can't say I've been in that situation, but if you're feeling those types of thoughts, I know it's hard. Believe me, I've talked to friends that have been in that state beforehand, but really, the best thing that you can do, one of the best things that you can do to start out, reach out to a friend, just talk to somebody, because trust me when I say this, bottling it up will not do you any good. And I know it feels like that it's not going to get any better. My buddy Jay Vaders has been there. Even he can say it gets better. I know it's the cliche thing to say, but believe me when I say this, guys, it will get better, because one person, if you love and if you trust one person, if you can talk to them, will do wonders for you. If you don't want to do a therapist, talk to someone who you love and trust. What is the one film that angers you? Just one movie that angers me? Okay, I'll bring it up again. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. Just thinking about it, oh god, I can feel my head, I can feel my brain right now just going like, fuck that movie. Most and least favorite genre of music? Most favorite is rock, hard rock, metal. I like some heavy metal. I like some pop. Least, country. I cannot stand country. It puts me to sleep. Minus Johnny Cash. Can't stand country. For those of you who love country a lot, who watch my videos, great for you. But for me, I can't do country. Favorite moments you've done on your channel? Favorite moments, that's a really hard one because there are so many things I've done on my channel that I've loved. I mean, I am very proud of the Next Gen Film Awards so much. I think that comes near the top of the list. The collaborations I've done with my friends, I think one of my favorite things I've ever done was the Inside Out intro. To dig even deeper, my proudest moment is knowing that I could do this. Because I was scared for this for a long time, but after I saw Jeremy John's video, it changed everything for me. Least favorite subject in school? Math. Motherfuck math. Math is the devil, and math can go fuck itself. Would you rather listen to Babymetal or 80s music for the rest of your life? I love me some Babymetal, but 80s music all day for one reason. My favorite band of all time, Metallica, was essentially formed in the 80s. Elton John, many of my favorite bands came from the 80s. And 80s, my buddy Mr. Garrison's gonna love me saying this, the 80s were honestly I think it was the best decade for music. I really think it was. It was the best decade, period. What are your most anticipated films and TV shows for the rest of 2021? Films-wise, I would say No Time to Die is up there. Spider-Man? Did I say Spider-Man? Spider-Man No Way Home. Also, Dune, like, that's for me at the top of my list. I'm looking forward to Shang-Chi. I'm excited for Eternals. TV-wise, there's two shows. There's Book of Boba Fett, which I think is coming out later this year, and also Midnight Mass on Netflix. It's a new Mike Flanagan show. Cannot wait for those things. Are you planning on doing vlog videos on your channel in your future? I'm assuming you mean vlog videos like the quarantine journal I did. We'll see, in all honesty. And by the way, I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed those videos. I thought of doing it for a long time, but I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. We'll see. If inspiration strikes again, we'll see. But at the time being, I have no idea. Never say never. That's all I'll say. Never say never. How many celebrities have you met, and which one was most memorable? I think it's more than 10. If I were to go through them all, it would take a long time, but I think it's more than 10. Most memorable, though, okay, so there's two of them. There's Alexander Daddario, well, three, actually. So there's Alexander Daddario at the Baywatch red carpet premiere, who not gonna lie, I kind of geeked out after she walked away. Here's the picture. I'll put the picture right there. That was one of my favorite moments of my life right there. Meeting Joel Edgerton, I thought was really, really cool. He was an awesome guy. I remember actually to this day that after the interview ended for Gringo, to which I don't mind. It's an okay movie. I told him, and Nash Edgerton, who was his brother, the director of Gringo, I said to him, so this is my first interview. He said, oh, really? So I guess we helped you pop your cherry, eh? I thought that was fucking hilarious. And my other one, I would say, was interviewing the stars of John Wick, Chapter 3, Aisha Kate Dillon and Mark Dacascos. I remember I was so excited. I messed up Aisha Kate Dillon's name by saying Aisha Mark Dillon. No joke. What I said, I was like, and Aisha Mark, dang it, I screwed up already, off to a great start. And they laughed their asses off. And I remember the interview wrangler said they loved you, man. So that was a fun time. If I can bring in one more, I will say Carrie Ellis. Carrie Ellis, which is a great and classy guy. Because I remember I was interviewing him for Stranger Things Season 3. And after it ended, because usually after my interviews, I asked to see if I could take a picture with the talent, right? And I was about to ask him, and Carrie said, you want to get a picture, man? And I said, yeah. All of them have been very cool people. I mean, very, very cool. I've been very lucky about that. What's better, practical or CGI? It depends on the situation. Sometimes practical looks better, and sometimes CG looks better. The best CG is the CG that we don't even notice, and I feel like that a lot of the time we complain about CG because we only see bad CG. I'll actually link a video down in the description below about a video that Freddie Wong did about CG versus bad CG, and you would be mind blown with what is CG and wasn't CG. I think for horror films specifically, practical effects are amazing, but if you can do CG in a horror film and we don't even notice it, that's even better. So really, it depends on what you're using practical or CG for. Practical will always be great, but sometimes CG is even better than practical. What is the most depressing movie you've ever seen? For this one, there's two. The first one, I would say, I think you guys can be thrown off with this one. Blue Valentine is one, because Blue Valentine, my God, that one broke me in the end. Well, you think it's gonna be a romance movie, by the way, don't watch that Wire Legend, because that's a movie you're gonna want to see to break up with somebody, in all honesty. I remember that film felt so raw. it felt like I was watching the break of a marriage. And by the end, I was just like, fuck. Another one, though, is Passion of the Christ. I mean, good lord. The last act of that movie is just... What was the first video or review you recall getting traction online? It was either my TED trailer review, which I know that got a lot of hits. I know I got some comments on that one. It was either Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which that video did great, or my review of Knock Knock, which... controversial review. It's a reaction that to this day I still get shit on. Are you still in film school or studying to be a filmmaker? I'll try and condense this as much as I possibly can. So no, I'm not in film school. I have not been to film school since spring of 2017. The reason why is because I feel like I got all that I needed out of it. It's just I need to get back out there. Am I still studying to be a filmmaker? I am. Yes, but at the same time, no, because I've just had no time. I have an idea that I have to write and direct it. It's really just a one-man show of me. It's actually based on Swingers, which is a great movie. It's not out of laziness I don't want to go back, but I feel like I've learned everything I wanted to learn. Do I still want to be a filmmaker? Yes. Am I studying? Yes, just not in film school is all, because I have not been in film school for 4 years. Do I plan on going back? No. Alrighty, guys, and that's going to wrap it up for my 10-year anniversary video and Q&A. I want to say once again, thank you all so much for sending in your questions. I do apologize for those of you who sent in questions. I didn't answer them. You all sent in some great questions, and once again, I do apologize I didn't get to them all. From the bottom of my heart, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching my videos for 10 years. It means the world to me. I know I don't have a million subscribers like the bigger guys out there like Chris Duckman, Jeremy Johns, or many others out there, but I don't do videos for fame, money, or anything. I do views. I make videos because I love doing them, and it's because I want to get my thoughts and opinions out there. And if I touch somebody out there doing it, if I touch somebody in a good way, if I make someone smile or laugh, if I help somebody out there without even knowing it, thank you all so much. Whether I have met you in real life or not, thank you all so much for watching me for 10 years. It means so much to me. You all have no idea. No idea? It means no idea. I'm getting emotional on camera. So with all that being said, guys, once again, thank you all so much for watching my videos for 10 years. I cannot believe it has been this long. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon unless something happens, which I don't think anything will happen. But with that being said, thank you all so much. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. Before I go, I do want to say, look out for more little nightmares. Look out for reviews coming soon after I get back from Vegas. I'm very excited about that. And also, look forward in October, I said this before, look forward in October to my Halloween horror reviews. I'm doing double the amount of content this year. I'm going to say that in my first review, to which I will not say what that is until closer to October. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed my 10-year anniversary video and all of my Q&A. Thank you all for sending in your questions. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next review, I'll see you guys next time. Once again, 10 years. Man, thank you all so much for 10 years. It means the world to me, guys. I really appreciate it. 10 years. Here's to 10 more. I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but we'll see how long this goes for. But thank you all so much for watching. And until my next review, I'll see you all next time. I love you all, and rock on.